And we are back. Hey, you guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not going to happen this video, but that's all right. Oh well, one of these days. But joining me is
Well,
my special guest, my girl, Mrs. Vest. She is joining us today. Say hello to her.
hi. Hi, beautiful bugs. Hello.
Yes. And if y'all saw the caption, this is Married to Medicine Season 10, Episode 5 Recap and Review. This episode was hilarious, and I enjoyed every single part of it. And y'all, all I have to say is wow. Now, I'm gonna get into it because what I did like about this is this reminds me of why I did like Phaedra in the first couple of seasons of Housewives and
Mhm.
how she fell off. But this was given old school Phaedra, and I enjoyed every part of it. So let's get into the episode, y'all. So everybody's talking about, the wedding and everything. We saw the repeated scene. They have already showed the scene of Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone having lunch. So this goes to show you how much they want a Quad to appear in all the episodes. Because mind you, Quad didn't film until after the wedding. So this was actually Quad being brought back into the fold. Was this episode here? So we show Quad at her house washing dishes. Phaedra comes over and she's telling Phaedra she needs to talk to Heavenly because she did not like when Heavenly was getting close to Sweet Tea and she would take a picture, post on Instagram, and then tag Quad in it to be funny. She didn't like that. She says she does love Heavenly and hopes that this works out. So Heavenly stops by and, the three of them are talking. And she pretty much told Heavenly, I didn't like that you were trying to throw Sweet Tea in my face, knowing, that she's about to marry my ex-husband and everything. And Heavenly said, "Why, I really didn't think you gave a fuck. That's why I did it." And I was like, well, damn. Like, one thing I love about Heavenly, and a lot of people don't like her, Heavenly is brutally honest. She does not care about your feelings. She does not care about hurting your feelings. She's going to say exactly what she says, and she means exactly what the fuck she says. And that's what I live for with Heavenly.
You know what you're going
And
to do. I like people like that.
me too. You know what you're gonna get. So that's just what it is. And Heavenly brings up the standpoint, just like Clyde is not cool with the other ladies, and and she doesn't make the effort to want to get cool. And this is proven at the end of the episode. Heavenly's point shows. So y'all keep this in mind. Heavenly says you make them feel like you don't want to be their friend. Which, if we go back to prior seasons with Quad, Quad has definitely showcased that she and her Mariah fell out. Then when she was on the Sister Circle show, she was saying that those ladies were her real friends. And when she would come on this show to work with these ladies, she kind of had them at arm's like length, like she didn't really fool with them too much. And I actually understood that as well because I do believe Quad is sometimes one-sided. I can honestly see that. So
I
in
think the
terms,
thing of it is when the show started, because I'm like a little obsessive. Quad was very close, as we know, with Mariah, but Mariah is the executive producer to this show, always has been. She brought the idea to Bravo. It's her idea. She made that. I think Quad coming into it as the best friend of the executive producer was problematic. I think it got to her head personally. I also think that was the issue. I never think executive producers in general should be a part of the cast. That's just how I feel. But
Shawnee O'Neal,
I
anybody?
you said what?
I said Shawnee O'Neal, anybody?
No, for real. It doesn't work because there's a power struggle that the other women will never be able to win, and it impacts the reality of reality TV. But Quad's problem is, like you said, she can be one sided. She has no issue pointing out what others have done to her, but she has issues pointing at herself and looking what she's done. And while she hasn't like actively backstabbed or talked about anybody terribly, sometimes your attitude and how you carry yourself can make people feel unwanted, like they don't want to be around you. You know, it's too much. I just I can't sometimes. And I like Quad. James will tell y'all I like Quad, but I'm kind of
I
like
like Quad too, But if I'm gonna be real with you, there's things about as much as I like Quad, there's things I don't like about her, and this is one of them. I think that, you can clearly see that it's realistically all about her and not, you know, about who she cares for and who she loves. I'm not saying she's incapable of it, but it definitely comes off as if people don't matter to her unless they're doing something to empower her or make her feel good about herself. And that's what I don't like. I feel like if you were really that confident the way you say you are, that shouldn't matter. You should be able to lead with love and feel great about yourself, not looking for that validation. And when they don't do it, you ice them out of your life. It's not fair. So I kind of saw Heavenly's point, but Quad says, I want to talk to the other ladies. I do miss them too. I don't believe her. Sorry. That just did not seem genuine to me. We get this scene of Sweet Tea, Simone, and Toya. They go to Toya's house to get an IV treatment, which, Lord, I wish I could do
His
the treatment.
house for the season.
Yeah, for the rental home, yes.
Because every season,
She moving. I'm telling you, I'm so glad that ain't her storyline this season. I don't know what the hell
oh,
to
I
do with
moved a
that.
lot.
Lord.
Mm.
Shit, right? So they're Sweet Tea's getting back from Dubai. Her and Dr. G went to Dubai for their honeymoon, and she is drained. So they're going to get IV treatments. I have done this many times, especially during COVID. I think I did this once a month where I got an IV treatment. I had a nurse come to my home, and it was called a mobile IV hospital. That's what it was called in Arizona.
I've been wanting to try that. So when I visit
When
you, we
I
can
tell
do
you, when I tell you, it is the best thing. I got so many vitamins and nutrients. And during the pandemic or the panorama, whatever y'all want to call that shit, I actually was getting like a lot of allergies because
mm.
of our lack of exposure to oxygen because we were supposed to be in the house. So I used to get the Benadryl shot through the IV. When I tell you that was the best sleep of my life, child, I was asleep for 12 hours. I promise you I was. And, just great sleep. So they're doing that, and oh, I forgot to mention the best part. So Phaedra, before we get to that scene, I'm gonna say Phaedra had driven around with her butler and a driver wearing all black, looking like the Black Widow, and is going over to everyone's house to invite them to Willie Watkins' funeral home. And but they don't know that that's where they're going though at that time. Everyone's scared to open the briefcase. We don't know what the hell's going on. And it's a little church fan. And I said, Phaedra, come on. You did all of this exotic, expensive looking shit for some damn miniature church Martin Luther King fans, really? The same fans we had Sunday service with, we blowing because church ain't got no air condition. Really, Phaedra? Okay, Phaedra. Okay. But anyways, we're back to Toy Sweetie. I had to throw that in there because I forgot that happened. Um, so Sweet Tea sees the little fan. She goes, "What is this? Why do you have this?" She goes, and Toya was like, "Oh, that's that shit that Phaedra dropped off over here. She had this exotic show of this man dropping this at my door." And she goes, "Oh, I didn't get one of these." And they were like, "Well, why would you not get one? Everybody else got one." So, backstory on this, because I watched the live that Heavenly did with Carlos King. And Heavenly said that Phaedra's name was taken off the wedding invite list as well. So Phaedra said, okay, well, if you want to play like that, I'm going to take away your pastor. So he can't officiate your wedding at the last minute.
I don't like that they did that because in the scene, I had the feeling that it wasn't just Heavenly that was left off of the list. Why y'all try to pin shit on Heavenly production? Like y'all know she can take
Right.
it
Y'all could have
not
showed,
as weak, no shade, sensitively as these other heifers. So you're like, oh, Heavenly got this.
yeah,
I don't care.
yeah. Y'all could have showed Phaedra not being on that list and her saying, well, I'm going to take the pastor. Well, y'all could have showed that shit. I'm just saying, bravo in that call
She
center.
probably
That's,
said that
yeah.
or something.
I would have said it. If I was on the show and I got kicked out and I knew somebody else wasn't on the list too, I would have called their asses out. I'd be like, where was that scene that where Phaedra said, okay, if that's what you want to do, then you ain't gonna have no pastor for this wedding. Because that's exactly what Heavenly said on her live with Carlos King. So I'm trying to figure out why they didn't show that shit. I wanted to see it. I want to see how Phaedra get down. Because you know, if all Phaedra do Phaedra, and I'm telling y'all, it is. I just love watching Phaedra because all Phaedra do is just lie, and it is just like it's crazy. It's hilarious to watch because you could clearly see it, but she goes, "Oh my, oh yes, praise Jesus, yes," and all this. Don't know, yeah, it's, it's crazy. So we did get this scene with Simone and Cecil and talking to their son
I don't care.
about that plan. I don't either, but basically, do you think that son is going to finish college for that year? And do you
All
think that's
right.
going to happen?
So does that remind me of his daddy? You know, remember when Cecil lost his job and remained unemployed for some time,
Yeah,
conveniently?
I remember that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
now we just never see Cecil work and he's always available. Versus season one, it was she would have to catch his ass too. So I feel like the son gonna take after his dad or something. He may not have the work ethic that Simone has, which a lot of us don't. To become a doctor, you have to have a work and study ethic that is not abnormal, but in a positive way, is what I'm saying. So,
Let me tell you, her and Jackie probably have one of the hardest
mhm,
med professions out there outside of what Dr. Alicia's husband does, which is an oral surgeon. I think that is the hardest one of all. I believe it is, as far as levels of how hard it is to obtain an actual doctorate of medical practices. I think his is the hardest. So yes, they have a hard one as well. So no, we that work ethic is just beyond.
yeah, the kids seem the son that they which one I get them mixed up because they look so much alike.
Hell,
But
they both look like her, and it's scary to look at them both.
I just feel like kids that grow up with everything, even if you teach them, get good grades, these kids did get into college on their own, you know, so we have to give them their little pieces of credit. But I feel like kids that grow up privileged, um, no matter what you do, sometimes it takes them going off on their own to really understand true self sufficiency. And I think they know that in the back of their head based on what I know about psychology and children who grow up in what we call different socioeconomic statuses. It does impact their behaviors as it relates to work, school, you know, finishing shit. So I feel like, you know, they grew up privileged. They did the best they could. They know they could get away with shit with their daddy from what I see. And I can't
Mm-mm.
say if the boy's gonna finish school or not. I don't want to wish nothing negative on no black man or young man, but the way the conversations are going, if I were in his shoes at his age, I wouldn't have much motivation to finish college either. I'd take
Hmm.
my time, and I think he knows what he's doing. You know, in college, I finished college, y'all, in 3 years exactly, a 4 year degree. So if you're serious about finishing school, especially with
Mm.
online school being offered at the major universities now, there's so many options. You're going to finish school. If you're most people who do what her sons are doing are like me. I've been trying to go to college damn near on and off for 10 years. Lollygag, bullshitted. Sometimes you just do stuff to stay enrolled in the school. And you might, you know, they just, if they wanted to finish school, they would. They have no excuse to not finish it. You don't work. Your parents pay for everything. So, you know, yeah, what she said. They're going to test the boundaries with their mom and
Exactly, and that's where I'm going with
privilege.
it. They're going to test her because Simone wants to retire, and she can't do that if she's steady paying all the bills and you know trying to balance what needs to be balanced with home life, kid life, and everything like that. She can't do all that. So I get where she's coming from, but the problem is Cecil. I honestly think the problem is Cecil. I think the problem is that because he keeps talking about generational wealth, and that's not the same thing. Generation wealth is meaning that you have put in place to where what you have that runneth over is enough for your kids to take over whatever legacy you have at their own leisure. Now, that's not the same thing as we have enough money to pay our bills and theirs for them to sit on their asses. That's not the same
I
thing,
just didn't like the
Cecil.
conversation about, oh, you think we could get them an apartment? That's why he's waiting. That's exactly why they're waiting, because they want their parents to cover things. And while I'm sure that they love their parents, in my household, we always had to go to school or work. My younger brothers who still live with my mama, they're 25 and or 27 and 20 something. Anywho, they still live with my mom. Me and my sister are independent. We always look like, what the hell happened there? But with me and my sister, we just pretty much had to figure shit out. I was on my own at 16. I had to get emancipated. I grew up in an abusive household. But like our childhood was a little different from theirs. My brothers, my mom had gotten her master's degree and is working as a licensed therapist. My dad had his degree. My stepdad had a degree. So they didn't have like, I had to go to the store with the food stamps and like actually look for the stamp and shit, you know. They didn't have that same experience. And so now my parents are just like, well, you either have to go to school or have a job. And you could stay at home and do whatever. So I feel like, and no shade in the Black community, like the boys that do well and stuff end up getting a little bit more like leeway. Because with a daughter, how often you see daughters of any color just at home to be at home for years because mom is covering it? I think dad needs to do a lot more with those children. But hopefully they
I
go.
agree.
Hopefully they get better. If not,
I
you go
Yeah,
find
I
no
agree.
wife.
I think
No
that
wife.
he said. I feel like he sets the pace of how they'll end up. So if he becomes stern, they will become more of a, oh my god, I'm in shock. I need to get my life together kind of
He's with
situation.
them more because Simone be on call and driving across, towns, and her job demands a lot. So
Yeah,
that's
I agree. But moving on, y'all. We ain't gonna keep too much on that. I just had to bring that up. But moving on, the ladies are on their way to the Willie Watkins funeral home down in the other part of Atlanta, where it's not even in Atlanta. That shit is like an hour outside of Atlanta. That shit, Willie Watkins funeral home is far as hell. So we have Toya, Sweet Tea, and Simone in one vehicle. Mind you, Sweet Tea was not invited, so y'all hold on to that one. And then we have Quad, Jackie, and not Quad, Jackie, Alicia, and Heavenly in another car. They're pulling up to the thing and they're confused on why they're at a funeral home. So they walk in, they all sit down. We have Alicia, Jackie, and Heavenly on one side, and we have Sweet Tea, Toya, and Simone on the other side. So Phaedra walks in as dramatic as hell with this veil on her head, and I was looking at Phaedra like, come on, lady, really? You
I
was
tell you
doing
this,
all
the
this?
South, if somebody, this sounds fucked up, but if someone has a funeral in the South, because I usually don't go to funerals, but I'll go to the funerals in the South. My family's from New Orleans. They will literally dance through the street. So,
All that is fine, but
Phaedra's.
I'm looking at Phaedra like, why do you have that on? Where is you going? And then here come the dudes sliding as if this is a wedding, taking long steps, carrying a casket. And and then you had the lady playing the saxophone, which she was really good. Whoever that is, yes, I loved you. I was like, I couldn't get her name, but I loved you. I was like, yeah, look at her play that. Come on, girl.
Favorite
So
instrument, good old
yes,
saxophone.
right.
Mm.
So they set the coffin down, and Phaedra does her little spiel, and then it pops open. The casket pops open. Phaedra puts a rose in it, and she takes a seat in the first pew. Heavenly tried to peek over, and here come Quad. Well, you thought you lost me, and you tried to put me down, but I always rise up. And I'm looking at Quad like,
Why
really?
would you pop
My
yourself?
face, my face was Toya's face when I was looking at the scene. I said, "Wow!" As funny as it was, well, actually, what was funny was Heavenly doing her little witch laugh, that little witch laugh that she likes to do. That shit had me cackling. 'Cause I was like, "Heavenly, stop laughing like that." Damn. But I'm looking at Quad like, first of all, why in the fuck would you get into a damn casket and let them close it on you?
I think that's
Like,
bad juju. If
huh?
I think that's bad juju. To
Oh, bad juju. I thought you was saying.
no,
I thought you was. I thought you was trying to give me some wisdom or knowledge of something that I had no idea about. But it was like you said bad juju. I think that is too. I think you speaking something into life where you get in a coffin and have them
Yes.
closing on you. You're not supposed to do that, people.
Avoid
And
the
not to
damn
mention,
casket until it's. I don't want to be in a casket till it's time for me to go in the ground. And I
right.
also, I want to be cremated anyways. Don't put me in no fucking casket. Leave that forever.
But here's the thing, it's like I don't understand, and not to mention, y'all, at this time, Quad had lost her niece. So I would think, if
Oh shit.
anything, you would not be doing this, ma'am. You would not be doing this. Like I thought that was crazy. Everybody else, even the people on social media, was like, "Why would she get in there? That's crazy to me."
Quad, what
So
happened to your little puppy clothing line? That's what should have came out of that casket. What happened to that? Had a whole fight with Lisa Nicole over, people taking your business seriously. What happened to it? Did the dog die? What's good?
she traded it in for seasonings in the cookbook. Okay. But anyway, y'all. Quad gets up and she goes, I want to start a new sister life with you guys because I think that we can definitely overcome anything. So she works down the line. She says, Jackie. She said, is everything okay with us, Jackie? Are we good? And Jackie is confused and was all like, yeah, we're okay. And I said, Jackie, stop. You're not okay with that girl. Tell her what you told Phaedra. Damn. She goes, heavenly. Oh, come, quiet. We good, quiet. We ain't got nothing wrong, quiet. We ain't got nothing wrong. It's okay. And then she goes, sweet tea. Um, you know, I we made everything okay. I let you know there was no animosity towards the sweet tea. And sweet tea looking like, okay, yeah, there's no animosity.
You. That's
She
why you
says,
don't go where you
Simone.
get invited.
Right, because I wouldn't have went, but that's me. Well, I would have went for my check. So if I had to sit there and look at Phaedra goofy ass walk up and down that damn aisle, that's what I was gonna do. She said, Simone. She said, girl, we used to have one of the strongest relationships here. And I would
Good.
love to rekindle that again. And Simone hits her with, well, Quad, are you coming from a place where this is going to be authentic and real and like you're really gonna mean it this time? And she goes, well, Simone, I always mean my friendships. I always mean everything that I say and mean everything that I do.
I actually
And
don't
I
think
just,
Quad did Simone wrong. I don't think. I think
no, she didn't.
Simone
No.
in the situation with Quad and Simone was the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I 100%
that's how I feel.
agree that I felt like, because Simone, if we really remember, y'all, Simone was coming after how Quad bought her house, how Quad was doing this. It was like, I remember that reunion. And she goes, it's a multi-million-dollar house and we make all the same money because they have I think it's a quality cost in their contract where you're paid based on how many seasons you've been on the show. So Toya, Quad, Simone, Jackie, and them all make the same amount of money.
Mhm.
So what Simone is going off of is that how are you affording this house um, and everything when this seems like a multi-million-dollar house? And I was looking at Simone like, why are you hating? Is the question.
Just be happy your
If she
friend got
got,
a house.
huh?
Just be happy your friend got a house.
Right, because and it's a beautiful home. Quad's, let me tell you, Quad's house is my favorite house out of anybody's houses
Mhm.
on this cast. Her house is my favorite. That is the exact decor that I would decorate my house with. I
Okay, I'm
want the
seeing a big
table.
baller.
Right. I want that table. I want the desk. I want the kitchen. I want the bathtub. I want it all. That's exactly what I want. And I'm not gonna stop until I get it. So yes, I was mad at Simone for that. So I felt like with Simone, I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give Quad 25% of the blame, but I'm gonna give 75 back to Simone because I felt like she was the cause. Back
Mm.
into scene now, and then she said, "Toya." She goes, "I don't know how it happened, but it happened." But you know, I feel like we can always overcome what we do. And she goes, I don't know where we were wrong. Where did we go wrong, Toya? Well, Quad, it all started. Well, no, Toya, you got to tell the truth now. Tell the truth. Tell the whole truth now. And she would let Toya really get it out. Like she kind of let it was kind of in the instance, and Phaedra even had to call it out. She goes, Quad, this was your moment to be accountable because these are all of your friends coming to you saying we felt abandoned by you. We felt like you didn't care about us. and here you come trying to point the finger at them. And I was glad that Phaedra spoke up in the confessional. Now, where was that at that point in that scene? Which we'll get to it, and we'll get to dinner in a minute. And
You have to
pretty
remember
much,
though, this cast has an issue with Quad abandoning her. And this is where I do stand by beside Quad. Y'all talk about you don't like that she abandoned you in friendship, but no one's talking about what led to that. That's how I feel. The whole cast at some point, they all talk about each other. They've all done it. But I feel like when Quad is a part of it, it gets and turns into an issue. And then she treats it when handling that issue where she's only thinking of herself. And then they forget their part. Everybody's lacking accountability. In my
mhm,
opinion, it looked like these heifers done known each other too long, and there's certain
right.
stuff that would just never make sense on our screens. But there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of y'all coming at one person, and when she does try, then she goes and watches TV and sees y'all talking shit about her on Twitter, online, on YouTube shows, and some more stuff. So everybody's at fault, and I'm kind of tired of these
I'm
same
gonna
beats.
say some of them. I'm not gonna say all of them. Like the whole situation with Jackie, I'm not clear on the context of where they went wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of keep that as is. The only person I really can fault for why their friendship is Simone. Simone is the only person I feel like, and maybe some of Toya. I feel like that's where I kind of feel like she dropped the ball on them. But the rest of them,
When
no, I
Quad
don't
had
see.
her split from Dr. G, like before they even had issues, this whole cast, I know the show's called Married to Medicine, but they're speaking on the issue in a way. And then when Mariah came back for a few seasons, I just feel like everybody has done something, in my opinion, that's equally messy. So to like flip out on this person, either you her friend or you not. But to be mad about it and holding grudges and all of that, it's annoying. Like somebody needs to grow up and move on. I mean, for Christ's sake, your doctors are married to them. Like, move on.
Right, exactly. So now, because Quad set the mood for everybody confronting everybody, Heavenly takes this opportunity to confront Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea, girl, why was I crossed off on your wedding list? What was that all about? She goes, Sweet Tea, well, if you're talking about me and my marriage and
No,
everything in
you
front of
need
my
to.
friend, I ain't gonna do all that. I can't do all that. So sorry. I can't do all that. She said, well, if you're talking about me and my friend and telling me about how my marriage won't last, of course I'm not going to have you. Why would I have you at my wedding? She go, well, I just felt like that at the time. And, you was over there throwing tantrums and everything. And she goes, well, what about you? You hit your man on the head with a frying pan. Oh, oh,
That
what?
showed me
What?
though when Sweet Tea said that, but you didn't watch the show. But
Well, I
but you
wasn't on the
didn't
show.
look.
I think
It
Heavenly
doesn't
told her
matter.
that in the
But
comments.
you looked her up to know that. You're gonna put her out based on some he said she said bullshit, for one, from your messy ass bridemaid. And then two, I just don't feel like Sweet Tea has any form of an argument. The thing that bothered me the most is be a real bitch, Sweet Tea. We the same age, sis. We were both born in 92. If I'm gonna put a bitch out my wedding, my house, my life, any of that, they're gonna know why. They're going to know why. You don't have to argue, but you could have sent a text, especially knowing Heavenly lives all the way around the corner, up the river, down the mountain, and into the valley. Okay, she don't live close, so it's like if you're gonna disinvite someone and they're making the time to come to your event, especially if you know that they have businesses, kids, all of that. You got emergency room. I'm sorry, pain interventionist medicine now. You got him and a damn dentist coming from hella far to come to your wedding after you only been with the Negro for only about a year, barely. Like, you tell them first. If she would have told her or told one of the ladies to tell her, then I would have felt Sweet Tea. But it's like you didn't tell her, so it's like you scary with your own wedding. You couldn't like
No,
invite.
and I agree with you. I feel like she should have at least said, hey, I don't want you at my wedding because I didn't like that conversation that you had with the ladies when I was, at a low point in that night.
Mhm.
And I totally agree with that. Think she should have at least reached out to her and say, "We will talk at another time. Right
Mhm.
now, it's not the time."
Mhm.
So, Heavenly, I want to finish my reenactment. Heavenly said, wait, bitch. No, no, I'm gonna whoop your ass just like your mama should have whooped your ass." So, girl, when I tell you, when Sweet Tea got up and Simone tried to stop Simone, little frail behind, was finna fall over that pew, and Heavenly was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass." So they got people in the. I don't know who jumped in the middle of them two. I couldn't really see it, but Phaedra's like, "Ladies, ladies, we are going to not do this here." Because remember, Phaedra has a partnership with Willie Watkins. She does
Mhm.
funerals, so she ain't trying to have her to tear her shit up. So she goes, "We are going to calm down and we're going to go into the back and have some refreshment. I got some chicken, and we're going to go ahead and eat and everything." So they go out, and they put that to rest. They go over there into the little, funeral area to eat. And for some reason, they sat Toya and Quad next to each other, which we knew that was going to be bad because then the conversation picks up again. Toya said, "Oh no," Quad was like, "Toya, I really don't know what I did to make you not like me." And she goes, "Quad," and Toya's like, "Quad, you called us thieves and you said I cheated on my husband."
After Toya spent basically the entire season saying who Quad was sleeping with, who what
I
she
was
done
just gonna
did,
say that. I
talk
said, "Now
shit
wait a
about
minute."
her house. I don't like Toya. Toya is the example of a bitch from the deep who married up. Toya is. I just don't like Toya. Like I just don't like her at all. Can't stand her because she always want to cry about something done to her, but she always doing something to other people. It's like Toya cannot take what she dishes out, and I feel like Quad also cannot take what she dishes out. I really feel like they're the most similar, and I kind of sometimes wish they would just go back to when Toya's fucked up Eugene's finances and they gotta move again, and Quad brings her over some ramen noodles. Like can we get back to those days because they both kind of do the same thing, and I think they're very similar, and just kind of over it. It's like y'all both did shit to each other. Move on. Toya, you mad at everybody for coming for your family, but you causing your family troubles. If you don't stop buying shit and settle down, I'm just over it. James's face.
Here's the thing. Though I understood the thief thing, I think Quad was definitely out of line for that. I feel like that was not necessary for you to say that, regardless if you felt she had the information or not, because we understood that Quad got that from Carrie Wells.
Mhm.
So, in terms of that, I kind of felt like I understood Toya then. But then when the cheating thing happened, I was like, well, you accused her too. And you also said something about her sleeping with her contractor.
Mhm.
You and Simone were at a dinner with Contessa, and that happened. I remember that very vividly because I was like, "Ooh, Toya, I think this is the wrong road. I think you should have just said I ain't never slept with anyone. You could have had to clear your conscience." But when you did, you threw Quad under the bus. So I kind of felt like y'all were doing the same thing to each other. So neither one of you were right in the moment, and I think that that's what we need to understand about you too. So where they go in this friendship, I don't know. I honestly don't care one way or the other. They stay friends, great. If they don't, fine. But I kind of felt like if you're gonna hold Quad accountable for her making those allegations to you, then you need to be the same accountable for saying the same things about her. Because
Mhm.
like Quad said, it does not make sense. It does not make sense at all for her to pay a man and then sleep with them. That makes no sense. If anything, if she don't sleep with them, she should be getting all those renovations for free. Now, am I right or
And
am I
even
right?
so, to try and throw a rumor around about a single person sleeping with somebody, be quiet. Single people can sleep with who they choose. So I didn't see how that was like a big deal. And contractors get paid. Shit. Ain't nothing wrong with sleeping with a contractor. So
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. But y'all, that was the episode. It was absolutely hilarious. I have to give it to Phaedra once again, even though it was an epic fail, but I agree with that. That type of shade is low hanging fruit. It is. Absolutely. But I do have some things I want to say before. Dr. Alicia Bravo in this call center. I need to see more from her. Her and her husband are some of the most beautiful people I've ever seen on TV. I need to see more.
I think we're not seeing more because they actually care about their professional reputation. I keep seeing online people like Dr. Alicia's beautiful, but why is she there? She's kind of boring. I'm like, she is a little boring, but you know, what can we do? What can we do? Married to Medicine is keeping shit interesting though. I appreciate that because Potomac is tired of it. Tired of Potomac. But this is better.
I agree. But that was episode, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you liked my quad impersonation, because I just thought that was the most dramatic shit I
It
have
was spot
ever
on.
seen in my life. Like, when I tell y'all, I was like, damn, quad, are you auditioning for something and there's another camera behind? Bravo. Let me know.
That's
But
why
that
I
was
was telling you that shit got to her head because that's the only reason you would feel the need to climb into a casket and have people drive 60 minutes away at night to a funeral home to revive friendships that are already dead. It was weird, but hey, the friendships are dead. I'm pretty sure they are.
yeah, I agree. So that was it, you guys. That was the show. We appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate you joining us for the recap. Tomorrow we have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and on Mrs. Best channel we have Basketball Wives, and also sorry, Basketball Wives LA and Orlando. And on Thursday we're on Mrs. Best channel for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe to both of our channels to catch content. What I do not review on my channel, she recaps on her channel. Do you have any other videos coming up that you want to announce on this channel, Mrs. Best?
You named them. You name
All
it.
right. Well, we thank you guys. We hope you have a great night. We hope you guys had fun. Make sure y'all tell a friend to come watch our content. I promise y'all we're not that bad. We're getting better. And we're going to keep riding this until we both make partners with YouTube and do what everybody else is doing. Why not? We were trying to make it so we can, become the entrepreneurs we know we're destined to be. Shout out to Nia Green in the chat. She is always live with us. She comes to every recap. She has been consistent. We love you. We thank you. I honestly, you keep us going. You really do. So I
She
have to shout
did.
you
She
out.
found her way into a song review too. I meant to thank her for that. I was like, girl, sometimes I don't want
Yes,
to hear that music. So thank you.
we appreciate that. I need to make my way back to a song recap. I know they've been asking about me.
They do
I
not.
am coming back. I will be doing a song review and giving my opinion as well. I'm not going to be as funny. I'm going to be more serious because I feel like, hey, I don't know nothing about music, but
Yes, you do,
you know,
James. Yes, you do.
just a little bit, just a little
James be slapping.
bit, just a little bit. All right, you guys. But thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. We will see you tomorrow. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on my channel. Y'all not gonna want to miss this. Have a good one, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye bye.